Larry Kudlow is here. And Larry, we're going to bring you in now because it looks like the market's about to turn negative. So you tell me what this reaction is, considering the news. The Federal Reserve, as anticipated. By the way, I should say, as anticipated in recent days.
As anticipated in the last 24 hours.
The Federal Reserve, the indications were that it was going to be a half-point hike to the key Fed funds interest rate. Then in recent days, we watch our little Fed funds calculator on the CME, and it said that it was going to be 0.75 of a percentage point for those of us who watch it that closely.
With the usual leak to the Wall Street Journal.
And so it was anticipated in recent days, but this is still a significant hike in interest rates, the biggest that we've seen in 28 years, Larry, to tackle inflation. So we're watching the reaction in the markets. Your reaction, sir.
So the biggest in 28 years. Unfortunately, the inflation rate is the biggest in 40 years. But you know what? I am going to give them a plus on this. I'm going to give them a plus. This is a good thing. 75 is better than 50. They should have done 100. Now, I want to hear what Jay Powell has to say in his press conference, because this is just the beginning. Let me be quite clear about this. I don't think the Fed funds rate can really start beating inflation down until it gets up to about 6%, maybe 6.5%, okay? This will put it at, what, 2.5% or some such. They have a long road to go. They're going to have to raise another 75 or 100 at the July meeting, and they're going to have to do it again in September. And they should keep doing it, Sandra. This is a metric that I use. Keep raising the rate and pulling cash out of the economy until they see commodity indexes coming down significantly and the actual CPI and PPI indexes coming down.
Because the idea, Larry, is to weaken demand so that you don't have that demand driving prices higher and higher.
Well, that's part of it. Look, the other part of this, they should be feeding supply. Now, that's not the Fed's job.
Amen.
I mean, look, you know, Biden wants to tax excess profits. He's going to bring the National Guard in to surround ExxonMobil's operation. He'll probably march the National Guard into Midland, Texas to hold everybody up. He's a fully declared war. He wouldn't give the Supreme Court justices protection, but he's going to bring the National Guard in to attack the oil companies. I'm making a joke here, but pardon my cynicism. It's the silliest thing. Open up the spigots, okay? That would be a big plus. Stop attacking business. In the AFL-CIO meeting in Philadelphia yesterday, he talked about raising taxes on corporations.
Unbelievable.
That's exactly what he shouldn't do. What you need here is to increase the supply of goods and services and energy, okay? And you do that by lowering taxes and by pulling back regulations. Trump's most brilliant policy, really, I have to say this, was his deregulation policies. And then the Federal Reserve and hopefully the federal government will stop spending and creating money. I mean, look, left to its own devices, Janet Yellen is selling the Biden budget on Capitol Hill last week. Didn't get near enough press. That budget has Build Back Better. That's another $5 trillion in federal spending. Stop the spending and stop the money printing. So pull back demand, increase supply.
They won't do that if they don't acknowledge that the government spending is driving the inflation, and they haven't acknowledged that.
That's a very good point. It's a solid.
How do you fix the problem, Larry, if you don't acknowledge the root of the problem? Okay, this is a member of the White House Council of Economic Advisors, something you're very familiar with. This is earlier today, Heather Bushey
I know Heather.
On the current blame for these high prices. Listen.
Blame game.
The president believes in the Fed, and the Fed is the first line of defense against rising prices. But the president continues to do everything in his power, you know, as families are struggling with high prices at the pump and other things, you know, in large part at this point due to Putin's unprovoked war in the Ukraine.
I mean, it just feels like it's...
You're right, by the way. The stock market's almost flat. It was up a couple hundred.
So what's that?
Heather's a lovely woman. She's just giving you the party line. It's all nonsense. Don't believe it.
But you can't do that anymore. You can't do that anymore. And look at the political implications now.
This is why Biden's polls are so low. People do not have confidence. They see right through the lies and the falsehoods. By the way, One of these other lies is that somehow they're using a 4-year average for Trump's oil production. That includes 2020 and COVID, when everything was shut down. We are still over 1 million barrels a day of oil short from where we were pre-pandemic, and we are still about 750,000 barrels a day short in gasoline. And here's another point. Instead of trying to go after the oil companies and yell at them and slap surtaxes on their excess profits, how about letting them build refineries? One key point here, I don't want to lose this. Not only have they canceled leases in Alaska and the Gulf of Mexico, not only have they stopped the XL pipeline and virtually any other pipeline, their environmental restrictions from EPA and Interior and Energy have stopped new refineries. One of the problems with the gasoline situation is they're at capacity. Why is this? Because we haven't built a new refinery since the 1970s. So the stuff's not good. They've tried to expand existing refineries. They need to build new ones. They can't get it through the EPA regulations, and they can't get it through the NEPA permitting regulations. So these are self-inflicted wounds that the Biden administration has created. And I hate to say we told you so, but we told you so. Trump got rid of these regulations. They're slapping them back on, and then they worry that their polls are down and inflation is up. Really?
And then,
really?
And then the next talking point is to demonize the very oil companies that they're asking help from.
Absolutely.
After they said to shut down their operations, now they want more from them.
You don't understand, Sandra. They're going to send the National Guard to Midland, Texas, and stop the oil company. They're going to arrest them. God knows what they're going to do. They're going to go after ExxonMobil and Chevron. These are the finest oil companies.
Well, you're scaring us all now, Larry, and you're not here to do that.
I'm only being. I'm being a little bit. That was a joke.
I'm being
but
kind
the
of
fact
serious
of the matter
though, because
is,
Bob.
it's like he's now openly declared war on fossil fuels.
I got it.
You know what I mean?
And at the same time,
don't protect the Supreme Court justices, but go after ExxonMobil.
At the same time, announcing that he's going to go to the Middle East and ask for their oil. But wait, hold on. Bob Nardelli was with us last hour, and he kind of all left us in a bad mood because he said he kind of had some really seriously dire warnings about where the direction of this country is going based on the current decision making that is happening. And he went as far, Larry, and I know that you are the eternal optimist.
Yes.
So I know you're going to give us a bright side and a path forward for everybody watching, because Bob Nardelli said everybody should go into cash right now. Listen.
It will have a continuing devastating impact on the consumers. I would encourage the consumer, again, we saw what happened on baby formula. Build up a supply of non-perishables in your home. Make sure that you're prepared for sustainable inflationary periods.
I mean, are you worried too, like Bob is, who used to run Home Depot and all these big companies?
I knew him when he ran Home Depot.
He says that this inflationary, environment we live in today is going to be sustained for quite some time. That we're going to live in this, prepare for it, change the way you invest and save.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
This is going to take 2 years if we're going to see 2% inflation again, which is the Fed's target.
Okay.
It's a long haul. As I said, this bump up by 75, which is good, okay? I'm in favor. They got to do it again and again and again and again. It will be very hard to beat a recession.
I don't know if they plan to. I just handed you the notes from their
Well, I got to read. I have to read everything. You're right. And that's.
I don't know if they're going to be as aggressive in the next
There's no one
couple
I'd
moves.
rather come on than your show, but I do at this moment. I don't have time to read all the stuff.
Well, hand it back to me, because I'll tell you.
I see Esther George dissented from the Kansas City Fed. That is the stupidest bloody dissent I've ever heard, okay? She, by the way, was the one who got involved with this Raskin woman who they did not confirm because of the fintech company that got on the special Fed wire from the Kansas City Fed. Esther George has a lot of explaining to do. But this dissent, she wanted 50. That's the silliest thing I ever heard. Can I just come back to Bob Nardelli, who's a good guy? My best advice to investors, honestly, don't sell. Do not sell. Do not panic. The cavalry is coming. This little progressive, woke, big government socialist interlude is going to come to an end before long. Stocks in the long run is the single best investment anybody can make in the long run.
See, I knew you'd come back.
Do not sell now. In fact, I would almost say if you have spare cash, some spare savings, average it in.
All right.
Average it in over time.
I got to go. 4 o'clock.
Yes.
Your show is going to be ever more important today to see how markets close, and we'll see you at 4, Larry, on
Thanks,
ESPN.
Sandra.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.